Hi everyone, this is Varun from Airplant Planet. Hope you guys are doing well. So today we will be talking about air plants, the three basic cares for air plant: light, air and watering. So let's start with light. So when it comes to light, air plants need a lot of light. So they need bright indirect light, maybe not direct sun. So when you're keeping in your home, try to keep them at a place which gets bright indirect light. It should not be dark, or if you don't have natural light coming in, you can probably substitute it with artificial fluorescent lights or the LED bulbs. But make sure they are close by to the air plant so that it gets its share of good light. Because air plants, they need light to photosynthesize like all other plants. So they need light to photosynthesize, and you cannot keep them in some dark corner of the house and expect them to grow or do well. So air plants need bright indirect light. They love that. In case if you are able to give them morning sun or the evening sun, it does much better to get the good colors in the air plant before flowering, the stage that we call as blushing, wherein they change colors. So you need to give them sunlight, because without sun it's very difficult to get those blushing colors. We get a lot of questions every time that how much light should we give or where should we keep them in a house. So try to keep them near a window where they get a good light, or in your living room if it gets good light from your balconies, or in your terrace you can have them, or you can have them in your balconies. But try to avoid the harsh afternoon sun that we have in the tropical countries. Though air plants have adapted themselves to live in a lot of varying climates, but at the same time in the natural habitat they live in all kind of climates. They get full sun and everything, but when we grow them in their home or when they come to farms, they are not really accustomed to those harsh lights. So give them as bright light as possible so that they do really well. Don't keep them in some dark corner. If you don't have natural light that comes in, you can substitute it with a fluorescent light or your LED lamps, or if you have aquariums at home, you can put them near the aquarium where they get the aquarium light. It does pretty nice there, because the aquarium area is hot and humid and it gets good light. So your air plant does much better. The next most important thing that for air plants is air. As the name suggests, air plants, air is a very essential component for the survival of your air plants. So why air is important? It's the way how your air plant will absorb the nutrients and the water from the atmosphere, apart from the water that we give for its survival. Also, air is required because your air plant has to dry out after watering. So if there is very less air circulation, there are more chances of your air plant rotting. So try to provide them more air circulation. Keep them in a place where there is good enough air circulation. A lot of people try to keep their air plants in closed bowl terrariums, which is not really very good for air plants, because the air circulation inside those bowls is highly restricted, which is not really appreciated by air plants, and the air plants will not do too well for a very long time. Instead of them, try to keep them outside. If you are expecting some guests and you want to decorate that, you can put them in those terrariums for that time, and then move them out. Keep them in the natural climate wherein they get more air circulation. You will see your air plants doing much better than being inside the closed terrariums. The next important thing that air plant need for survival is water. So unlike the name air plants, which most people confuse that they don't need any water, they do need water. In the natural habitat, they get their water from the dew and from the rainfall, but in our homes we are never able to mimic their natural habitat, so we need to water them. Watering frequency will depend on your local climate, where you are, how you are keeping them. Remember, the other two factors that we discussed before, light and air, also matters when the watering is considered. So if you are giving it more light and more air, your air plant can take in more water, it can consume more water. Otherwise, if it is not getting enough light and it's not getting enough air circulation, and if we are still watering it every time, it's just like we are just drowning the plant every time without it being able to consume the water that it has already soaked. So you can water them by just misting them, you can dunk them, you can soak them, whichever way. As long as the water dries, it's okay. So air plant takes, or rather can take, more water than we can think. I mean, if you keep it in open, you can even water it every day. Indoors, we can do it once in a week, or we can just mist it in between. Remember that once you water them, your air plants have to dry within 3 to 4 hours. If they don't dry in the 3 to 4 hours of time, then there is high chances that your air plant will rot. And that's the major reason why most people kill air plants, that is overwatering. We have done a detailed video on how to water. You can find the description in the link below. There's a lot of people say that misting works better for them than soaking, so they do misting. So it all depends on where you're keeping them and your local climate. If it's more humid, your air plant needs more time to dry, and it can retain water for a longer time because it's soaking the water from the air as well. So you need to just understand your plant, and based on that you need to adjust your watering frequency. I think that helps. If there are any more questions, you can leave them in the comment section and we will try to answer that. Don't forget to like the video, comment, share and subscribe to the channel if you have not done already. Thank you.